I haven't seen you for like 5 days. Where have you been?
I've been in the fucking boonies.
Nice. This episode's gonna be an entire, like, story based off of Aiden's experience in the boonies.
I might take a while. Yep. Give a title, because I have a title for mine.
Okay, my title is, You're Leaking.
My title is I Got Leaked On.
Nice.
So I have a bit of a tale. This could be an ordeal.
If you think that there's a part of your story that you could, like, leave off at, maybe leave us wanting more.
I can split up into acts.
Give us a good Act 1, hook us.
Okay, Act 1, the bad part. So, I've been planning with a couple of friends of mine to go to a music festival called Shaky Knees. It's held in Georgia annually, and a bunch of bands are going to play there. And I was promised that we'd get to see all sorts of bands that I super love, like Tenacious D, Greta Van Fleet, and I signed up thinking we'd go for at least 2 of the 3 days. Uh-oh.
What happened?
We dropped out of the day that had all the bands I cared about, and we only went on the day that they cared about. So that was pretty cool. That was several months ago. Fast forwarding a bit, because I'm the only one in the group that's 21 years old, I was the only one that could get us a hotel room, which is probably why they invited me, to be honest. But...
Damn, so not only did they screw you, they were using you as well. What the hell?
It feels that way, but it doesn't. They're wonderful people. But basically, I reserved this hotel room several months in advance, and they're like, oh, you need an ID to check in. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, I got an ID. It's fine. I have a driver's license. I can drive, and everything's great. Even if, because, you know, when you turn 21, your license is supposed to expire pretty soon after that. I misplaced my license at one point during, like, sophomore year of high school, so I figured, okay, the timer on reset when I got a new license. Makes sense? Yep, that is not an issue. I have an ID. Everything's fine. Uh-oh. That's not how that works.
Oh.
They just made a copy of the ID that I lost, which meant that when they're like, you need to have a working ID, I checked it, and it had expired the day before.
Oh.
Which is just some really, really cool luck. So I call the hotel, and I'm like, hey, listen, I have an ID. It is expired, but I am clearly the person in the picture. You can just look at the picture and look at me and be like, yeah, it's the same guy. And also, I'm calling you in advance while the ID is still valid. So I'm like, yeah, okay, so this should be fine, right? And the person at the front desk is like,
do you have a passport?
uh-oh. Basically, that wasn't gonna work either. She clearly wasn't having any of it. Fuck. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? I can get a temporary license by going through the, Secretary of State office, and I can get myself a temporary license, ergo temporary ID, ergo everything's fine, right? So I go through and get this thing paid for. I get this, like, email that says temporary license withheld. Uh-oh. So now I'm on the phone with people over there, like, why the fuck does everybody in the state get a temporary license except for me? And they're like,
oh, that was just a mistake.
So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Cool. So they send me a link to this PDF. Uh-oh. There's a clause in the PDF which states that this is not a valid form of ID.
Oh.
I'm up shit's creek without a paddle, and now everybody who has a stake in this debate is not going to work with me. Uh-oh.
I didn't realize how much of a fiasco this was. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And this is before you went.
This is before I even went. So I call a friend who's going with me, and she's like,
well, okay, maybe if you, like, read through fucking documents, you can figure out something to do with it.
It's like when you apply for an ID, you get a temporary one so you can drive while your current one is, like, in the mail system, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a special paper, right? Its clause has an extra clause at the bottom, and it says, not a valid form of ID unless presented with a current ID.
Oh.
Uh-oh. My ID is expired.
Right.
Why on earth would current ID refer to the fucking one in the mail? Because that one's an ID without the fucking paper, right? So why would that paper say you need a fucking ID for it to be an ID? That's like if my fucking watch said, oh, you can get into anywhere if you have the right documentation. That's fucking stupid. Dumbest shit ever. But here was my thing with that. Because the PDF fucking voids the ID anyway. I think that they'll see reason if you tell them that. This thing ontologically proves, I think that's the right word, it ontologically proves that this is a valid ID. The ID that is defunct by the virtue of that PDF existing, it should be fine, right? Uh-oh. Now I gotta print it.
Oh.
So, they're gonna pick me up from this house. We don't have a printer. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna fucking run from the house to campus and use a printer there, right? That I trust. And remember, my story was called, what was it called? It was called,
It was called I Got Leaked On or something like that.
yeah, huge fucking rainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, it's just a little rain. How bad could it be? There will be more uh-ohs in the future. So I'm running to the armory, fucking sopping wet. I spent so much time on my hair. The hair gel is like water soluble, right? So it's melting off, getting in my eyes and causing them to sting. My glasses are all fucking covered in water, so I can't see. I take off my coat and I put over my backpack to keep all my shit dry, which kinda worked. We'll get to that. But I get to the armory, and at this point, the laptop case has like water creeping in. And so I'm like, no, I'm not going back out there. That's not fucking happening. And I go to print it.
What?
Printer out of ink.
Boy.
So I have to go to people and be like, where's the fucking ink?
Well, it's all end of semester, so I don't know if we'll have any. It should be over here, but it's the end. Like, we might be out.
And it's like, fuck you.
I guess you're shit out of luck.
So I run back over to the printing station and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Color printer. And so I print that bitch in color. It was still a black and white document. But I printed it in color, and I'm like, all right, I'm at the building, pick me the fuck up. Rain's harder than ever. That will have fallout. We'll get to that. All my shit's sopping wet. I'm cold. Everything sucks. And I get to the car. End of Act 1.
What the fuck?
That's Act 1.
Why do you need your ID for a hotel? That doesn't make sense. When we got a hotel during spring break, I did not need to show my ID at all.
I was doing my, like, Reservoir Dog style, like, rehearsing my lines before I got there, too. This is a valid document. You know, if you don't believe that I'm me, when the real Aiden shows up, you give him a big fat kiss on the ass. Knowing I had to fight tooth and nail to make them accept that I was who I was, because they were not helpful in the before times. But yeah, I made sure to call everyone and be like, hey, listen, they might turn to the way at the door after paying $200 for this fucking place. Bring sleep stuff.
Anyway, Aiden, what is part 2 of the story? This is going to be a very long podcast episode. I don't care.
We're at half an hour now, actually.
This is fine. I'm okay with, like, staying up as late as I want.
As the editor, I have reservations, but... Act 2, the badder part.
No! How?
Okay, so, we on the road, boys. We're heading the 13 hours from base camp all the way to Atlanta, Georgia. That's a lot of distance.
Oh yeah, I'm aware.
So...
What'd you do on your spare time, Aiden?
Well, my first work was to see if everything of mine was okay, because of all the rainwater, right?
Uh-huh.
And... So...
Hey, that's a step up from uh-oh.
That is a step up from
So, I'm like, you know, I haven't eaten much today. I'll check my snacks. Uh-oh. So, apparently, Mike and Ike's are water soluble.
Oh no. Oh no.
So...
Just a giant glob of Mike and Ike's.
Yeah, I had 3 boxes of Mike and Ike's. All 3 were waterlogged to fucking back. So the entire front pocket of my bag was completely destroyed.
Oh no.
Like, I opened it, it was the smell of a smorgasbord of every artificial flavor under the sun. There's like swollen Mike and Ike stuck to the inside of the zipper. And like, I had a sketch pad with me. Every page was a fucking rainbow. It was a goddamn nightmare. So that was ungood. So all I had that was left were the things that were like perma-sealed in bags. And I happened to bring a shitload of Takis. That'll be an uh-oh later. All my shit is sticky, all my clothes are wet, and I'm in the car, which for everybody else is like 80 degrees and they have the air blasting. I'm frigid. And I'm trying to fall asleep in the back seat, and I can't because I'm cold, and I'm sad, and everything sucks ass. This is more or less the marinating phase where I'm like, this is gonna be a rough fucking couple of days. Just the whole time, paranoid and unable to fall asleep because what if the hotel doesn't accept my document? Because it's riding on this contrivance that by current license, it means my expired license. I could tell by the way this person's voice was on the phone that she was a black woman.
Okay.
She just had that kind of voice. I was worried about it because, you know, she'd already denied me once.
If the hotel clerk fucking catches that, they're just the biggest Karen. Oh, you also gotta think it's probably not the same person there. Unless it is. Uh-oh.
Okay, so after 13 hours, we get to Atlanta, all go to a McDonald's, and we start eating, and everybody's looking at me, and they're all mad. They're giving me these death stares, and I'm like, oh no, what have I fucked up in some major way? So we're on the way to an aquarium to spend the afternoon there, but you know, my shoes have been wet all fucking day and night. I'm gonna get trench foot unless I take this shoe off. And so I like start to eke the shoe off, and I am hit with the most rancid rot smell ever.
I mean, yeah, if you're there for 14 hours.
I have realized at this point I am nose blind to whatever odor I am emanating. And it is a bad time. Now I'm like, they better get us a hotel, because I need to shower immediately. So we get to the hotel after this aquarium visit, which is actually quite nice. That was a nice visit. But I go to the front desk, and there are two front desks, but both desks were fronted by black women who fit the bill of the people who rejected me already. And so I was like, oh, they said no once, and I come with this document I just magically found less than 36 hours ago. They're gonna be fucking upset.
It's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, so
Flip a coin.
you go to the one that I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not her. And then she's like,
Okay, well, we'll talk to people if we can get this worked out. But I gotta go on break, so you go talk to her.
And so I'm like, oh, so now I have to talk to one I didn't want to fucking talk to. Thankfully, my luck finally turned around, and they gave us a room. Which was like the first good thing to happen on this whole trip.
The first event not accompanied by uh-oh.
Yeah. Grab all my, like, still damp shit, and we haul ass into the room, and I'm like, I cannot wait to shower and just get all this gunk off and out of me. And so I've done that, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna grab my change of clothes, and we're gonna just fucking get all washed up. Uh-oh. Not only are my clothes part of the victims of this dampening party, but I discover that there is a hole in the front pocket of my backpack, and the Mike and Ike's invaded.
No.
And they're threaded in all of my spare clothes, and nothing I can do will get them out. Those shirts are ruined.
Oh no.
What the fuck?
They were everywhere. The shirts were stained all different colors. It was so fucked up. Even the underwear was fucking destroyed. And I'm like, somehow, despite everything, these are a downgrade. So I just marinated in it.
Oh.
The laundry machines were busted. Public ones were out. I got in the corner of the room where nobody could smell or see me, and I wrote an essay for school all day that day, and then I fell asleep in a chair. All the other people on the trip were girls. I feel like it'd be weird to be like, hey, that robe there for me. So I decided
Don't mind me, I'm just
I decided
underneath the covers.
I decided to sleep in a chair. The chair was in front of the AC unit. This AC unit is very aggressive. You can't turn it off. Like, there's a thermostat on the wall, but not for the AC unit. So it was just like waking me up every 15 minutes with a cold blast of air. And my only blanket was the wet flannel.
You couldn't move the chair at all?
I think it was bolted to the floor. I couldn't get it to move.
Oh, wow.
How much was the hotel room?
$200 for
Really?
for four people.
Really?
For one night.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it is Atlanta, Georgia, though.
Well, here's the thing, though. When I booked the hotel room, they're like, okay, can I see your credit card? And I'm like, I prepaid for this. Oh, yeah, this is for, like, if you choose to use, like, the confectionaries in the room. Because they switched computers, right? Because the one went on break, went to the other desk, and they had not put in that I already paid in advance.
Oh.
So I was on the phone with the bank this morning, getting that $200 taken off my card, which is also why when I went to go pay for parking on concert day, my card bounced, because there was $5 left on it.
Jesus.
So I had to go out and carry into my savings to pay for parking. Oh, I forgot about an uh-oh. Remember how I said that the Takis were a problem?
Oh, yeah.
In addition to that night of me being woken up by the air thing, I also had flamey, steamy poos all night. Because all that was in my body was Takis.
Oh, God, man. If I didn't already know that you were just, like, a being of misfortune, I would have called you out for bullshitting, like, 10 minutes ago. This is all, like, how the fuck did all of this happen in the same day?
Yeah, so I smell like a dog's rectum. I haven't slept in, like, 48 hours. And nobody wants to talk to me. The only reason why they brought me is because they needed someone to pay for the hotel, which they made me do twice, and I almost couldn't even do that. Every contribution of mine was a fucking waste. End of Act 2. Act 1 was the bad part. Act 2 was the badder part.
Act 3 was the ugly part.
Oh, that would have been funny. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were gonna go with when
I
you said
will
bad.
retroactively do that. Act 1 is the good, Act 2 is the bad, Act 3 is the ugly.
What? You cannot retcon Act 1 into the good part.
It's my fucking story. Lick my balls.
Dude, that's so mean!
Alright, I'll get under the table. You can just keep going.
Please don't mess with me.
No!
Virtually no sleep. I got little winks in, but nothing substantial.
Yeah.
I'm like, alright, nobody else is awake. Let me see what I can salvage from this. Let me see if I can, like, maybe make myself presentable. Some way I can, like, just turn this shit around. I go in the bathroom with my bag and I just unload everything on the floor. And I'm like, okay, what can I use? What is not Mike and Iked? And the answer to that question is pretty much nothing. My laptop is fine.
Woo.
My 3DS is fine. I managed to actually play most of Great Cave Offensive in the car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Anyway, so I'm gonna Barbie this shit. I'm gonna mix and match all the options. I'm gonna try all the exercises and see what fits. And I was doing this very empirical sniff test of like, how ass do I smell with these various combinations? Thankfully, I was able to scrounge up one pair of dry socks. And the best smelling arrangement, which I could scrounge together, was a shirt that I managed to kind of dry off and like un-Mike and Ike a little bit.
That's good.
The shorts I had been wearing the whole time, and another pair of shorts that also existed. And so basically my thought was like, for the good of humanity, I have to go commando. It's the only way.
Did you not try to, like, go to the grocery store? Or...
At the time, it seemed like the right choice, and also I figured the fewer variables, the better.
Yeah.
So, we go to this concert. I insisted that we see the only band on that day card that I had heard of before. I played them for you today, actually. Live. Which is the worst name you could have given a band ever because the word live appears so much in music. It's, like, impossible to find if you look them up.
A minor oversight.
But I was like, it's the only band I know. I'm sick of being told no. We're fucking seeing Live. I don't care. Because they were fucking awesome in the 90s. And so there's multiple stages at this concert venue.
Yeah.
That necessitated us, like, not going to the main one until a little bit later. I figured, like, okay, we'll just go to this show, whatever. They, like, start playing, and within 5 seconds, I look over at them, and they're like... And I'm like, give it a check. After that first song was over, I was also like, man, they sounded really good in studio and 30 years ago. Jesus Christ, that band did not age well. But
sad.
Clearly no choice I make is right. Let's just go over to the other venue. And they're like,
No, you've been through hell. Fuck, we'll do this one thing for you. And
I'm like, no, everything I've done is wrong. At least if you're the one that chooses, then it won't be my fault this time when something bad happens. And they're like,
what are the odds?
Where did you go?
I promised them, like, okay, if they play I Alone, we leave immediately. I don't even care. And they're like,
Okay, fine, we accept those terms.
uh-oh. So we sat at this show through a good 10 songs, if you can even call them that. And they finally played I Alone, almost when the set was over. They butchered it to ribbons. Before they even played it, the guy was like, alright, we should be warmed up enough now for this one.
Oh, no.
With just to add insult to injury, nobody was into it. Half the crowd was leaving during the show because it was so bad.
Oh, wow.
I was like, guys, we can go. And they're like,
No, we're staying, because it's what you wanted.
And after they play I Alone, we immediately hightail it, and we catch up with everyone else who was also at the Live show, who had left earlier, as they should have, and they're all at the main stage, and there is no hope in hell we're getting close to the front.
Aw.
And it's my fault.
Aw.
So, we managed to push and shove our way through most of the crowd. And by the way, my balls are a fucking swamp at this point.
Oh, yes, let's not forget that Ian is commando throughout the entire time.
Yeah, I smell like death. I don't want to describe it in great detail, but
Kind of hot.
Kinda hot.
like, it's just a basically I'm standing the whole time like a soldier at attention trying to keep my balls firmly between my thighs to keep the smell in the whole day. And because you're in a Because you're in a crowd of people, you're constantly getting bumped into and knocked off balance.
Mosh pit.
Just a bad time all around. And thankfully, we saw Hozier.
Oh, nice.
That show was fucking amazing.
Good.
That made the whole thing worth it. One of the best performers I've ever seen live. They were right. I was blown the fuck away. Like, if you thought he was good in studio, he brings out electric guitars and backup vocalists. Music is a lot harder, a lot louder, and a lot angrier. And it's all the better for it.
And that was with Sweaty Balls.
Yeah, that was with Sweaty Balls.
That was with Sweaty Balls.
And thankfully, in the gutters between songs, and by the way, it's like 85 degrees out there, and we're out there standing for a good about 10 hours.
Yeah.
My balls are very upset.
Ladies, my balls are very upset right now. Can we leave?
Yeah.
We gave him a good scrubbing.
And the worst part of the whole thing, and you guys already know about this,
Do I?
is a couple of weeks ago we were all in the car, all three of us, going to the grocery store, and we have this like communal playlist, right? And a song comes on the playlist, and within the first chord, I'm like, oh, fuck this song. This song sucks cock. And this is way before any of this. But Carter's like, what's wrong with this song? And Nate's like, well, it's so early. And then it gets to the chorus, and he's also like, oh yeah, fuck this song. This song sucks ass.
What song was it? I don't even remember this at all.
The song is called Ho Hey.
Oh, yeah.
It's by the Lumineers. Guess who found out that fact when the Lumineers started playing it?
Oh my god. Man, now I want to go there. Lumineers are so good.
Fuck you.
Okay,
Shut up.
honestly,
Lumineers are not bad.
that was a great show.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. The lead singer's voice.
Yeah, his voice is really good.
It aged like fine wine.
The first album, I understand that you don't like that, but when you go to the future albums, they get so much
Look,
better.
I do not.
They do.
I do not mean to knock the Lumineers, but the fact that you sprung into this tangent because of Ho Hey makes me
Unimaginably angry.
I want to strangle you right now.
Yeah, that song is like one of the worst songs ever. However, I didn't mind it live.
Was other people singing it too?
Oh yeah, everybody sang it.
Oh yeah, duh. Yeah. If you did it,
I fucking sang it.
yeah.
But like,
They were like, ho, hey.
just to end the night with that final kick in my sweaty, greasy, stanky, fucking damp ass balls was just poetic perfection.
Just special.
Some poetic perfection.
The rest of it's nothing too special. We get back in the car after this and drive all the way back home, and I have a new problem, shocker, because there's one final uh-oh about what the floodwater destroyed, and that was, when I got to the hotel room, I'd noticed that it had rusted out my razor.
Oh.
And I had not shaved at that point in 5 days. And I have extremely pissy boy skin, so by day 3 I was already scratching like I was a meth addict on a stint.
Oh no.
So for that entire 5-hour car ride, I had to do Batman neck. Remember when I got back and you were like, hey, and I was like,
Yeah, you looked really upset. I was like, all right, you need to be left alone.
I ran right to the bathroom and shaved.
Okay,
that was the
got
first thing I did, but it was 13 hours of like Infinity War when Doctor Strange is like in that machine and there's needles going in from all angles. That was my face.
Yeah, when you came in, I was oh, that trip was bad, but I didn't know that it was that bad.
Yes.
You did not look okay, and I was like, all right, I don't want to mess with him.
I sometimes forget that I am a guy who is pretty flimsy looking, traveling with 3 girls.
Yeah.
And wearing, you've seen my socks, they're all fucking rainbows.
Oh.
In the South.
Yeah, in the South.
Ah.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I thought it was a
Iconic.
cultural thing. I was like, I didn't think it was a smell. Because I knew that, like, in the South, they're very, very judgmental about that type of thing.
I caught so many dirty looks from people I knew and didn't.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I was a public menace, all because of a little fucking rainwater. So that was my vacation. Hope you all enjoyed my little diatribe. Act 4!
Act 4.
Walking naked and I tripped and fell on a hot poker and my balls got scorched.
No wonder why people were looking at me weird.
That's a perfect outro.
Okay, great. I'll fade out to that.